You ever seen two kings share a throne? For real, for years. That's how it was. The two biggest dogs in the whole rap game. They ran the city, shared the same air, snatched the same awards, owned the top spot. But they never really threw hands. It was a side eye, a quiet thing. A cold vibe, you feel me? Everybody moved careful, watching their step. Then 2023 hit.
Money won't fold, pockets won't hold enough. Taking my polar now, effing in and out. Take me anywhere, I'm taking over the trap. I see the real clear, with grain Cartier.
And all that quiet? It exploded. This wasn't no regular rap beef. Nah, this was like the whole culture caught a quake. These weren't just diss tracks. These were straight-up musical bombs. Personal shots, crazy allegations, moments that had the whole internet losing its mind. You couldn't go nowhere without somebody picking a side. It rewrote the rules of the game right there in the 2020s. So this is that story. The story of Kendrick and Drizzy. This is about that fire that blew up, scorched everything, left the whole block in smoke. And then, this is about what came after the flames died down. The quiet that ain't really quiet at all. The tension that just went back underground, colder than ever. This is the story of the war that got blistering hot, and the Cold War that settled in when the smoke cleared. For more than 10 years, it was like this dance, you know? Kendrick and Drake, they were sharing the spotlight, but it was always that undercurrent, that competition. They'd work together sometimes, like back when Drake had him on that Buried Alive joint in 2011. They'd shout each other out, but the shout-outs had edges to him. You could hear the test in the words. Then Kendrick dropped that Control verse in 13 and blew up the whole block. Called out everybody by name. Drake right there at the top. That was a declaration right there. And Drake, he ain't let it slide. He came back on a track talking about, I don't know why they've been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring. It was that energy. A quiet storm brewing for years. But the real match, the thing that lit the fuse for all-out war, it came from the other crown holder. Early 2023, J. Cole was just kicking it with Lil Yachty, talking. And when Yachty brought up the whole Big Three thing, who's on top, Cole gave his answer. He laid his cards on the table. And that right there, that was the spark. That conversation changed the temperature of the whole room and set the stage for everything that came crashing down next.
Told them to take their craft more seriously, we wouldn't be where we are now, because them dudes were just living life and being free. Yep. It's the man in the place to be. Won't place one of the place to be. Yeah. That nigga wasn't taking himself too serious. Like
bars in there.
Yeah, like he was just trying to hype the party up.
Cole made a statement, put a crown on the whole situation. But when you really listen to what he was saying, he was set in the order. He put himself in the top spot, number 1. He placed Drake right there in second place. And then he put Kendrick in the third spot. Now you gotta understand who Kendrick is. This a dude who had just bagged a Pulitzer Prize, something nobody in the rap game ever touched. For a guy like that number 3 talk, that wasn't just talk. That was a quiet jab, a public slight that everybody heard. It was like a little bit of disrespect just sitting out in the open for the whole world to see. So just like that, the whole chessboard got set up. All the pieces was in position, and the first real move had been made. But the crazy part is, the move didn't even come from one of the players in the game. It came from somebody on the sidelines, commentator. And you best believe, somewhere, Kendrick Lamar was listening. His ears was burning, and the game was officially on. So months went by. Things was quiet, but it was that heavy kind of quiet, you know. Everybody was just waiting. Then March of 2024 hit. Metro Boomin and Future dropped their album, We Don't Trust You. And the whole world just shifted on its axis. They had a track on there called Like That. And that's where Kendrick Lamar decided to stop waiting. The beat came in, and then his voice just glided over it, all calm and deadly. He put the declaration right out there in the open. He said, yeah, get up with me, fuck sneak dissing. First-person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. He was talking straight to Drake and J. Cole, calling out that song they did together where they was debating who was the greatest. But Kendrick wasn't there to debate nothing. He was there to tear the whole thing down. He dropped the next line, and it just rattled through the streets, and the blogs, and the whole culture. He said, "It's just Big Me. Motherfuck the big three." Just like that. He wasn't trying to be in their club. He said forget their club. He declared himself the only one standing at the top. And man, the reaction? It was instant. It was like a tremor hit the whole hip-hop world. The internet just blew up. People was going crazy. Commentators like DJ Academics was on stream, his mouth wide open, trying to capture the shock of what just happened. It was one of the moments where you knew nothing was ever going to be the same again after that track hit the air.
Shit, fully devouring him. Say Drake, I hear you like a gun. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Doug's the only one to get your hand-me-down and party at the party playing with his nose now. And Baka got a real taste. Why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedestal. God, fuck him up. I'ma do myself. Why you pulling like a bitch, ain't you? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably...
So let's be clear about what this was. This wasn't no sneak diss. This wasn't no hidden message in the lyrics you gotta dig for. Nah, this was direct. This was in your face, confrontational. And the way he did it? Cold, masterful. That quiet little tension that had been building up for 10 whole years? That's over. Done. That slow burn just got doused in gasoline and lit up. The war was officially on, for real this time. No more side eyes. No more quiet shots. It's open season. So now everybody stopped. The whole game took a breath. And then every single head, every fan, every blogger, every rapper, they all turned and looked in one direction. They all looked up toward Toronto. The question was burning in everybody's mind. How was Drake, the king of keeping his cool, the master of the clapback? How was he gonna answer this? What was he gonna say? The ball was in his court now, and the world was waiting on his move. So when Drake finally decided to answer, he did it his own way. It was unorthodox, you feel me? It didn't just pop up on the streaming apps all clean and proper. Nah, it leaked out to the world in April of 2024. This rough, raw track called Push-Ups, Drop and Give Me 50. The sound was gritty on purpose. His whole plan was obvious from the jump. Mock the man and break him down piece by piece. Drake's voice on that track was just dripping with sarcasm, like he was bored and annoyed he even had to do this. He wasn't just coming at Kendrick's status in the game. He was coming for his whole business, his influence, even the people he worked with. He straight up clowned Kendrick's label situation rapping, "You better get back to them shares and them percentages." He took shots at how short he is, made fun of him for doing features with a pop group like Maroon 5, and even came for his little homies, asking, "How the fuck you big steppin' with a size 7 men's on?" But the line that cut the deepest was when he tried to erase Kendrick from the whole discussion. He said, "You ain't even in the conversation. You just bringing up my name for engagement." Drake was trying to paint the whole picture of Kendrick as some smaller artist, just trying to get famous by coming for the top dog. And the way it leaked, that was all part of the mind games. It created straight up chaos. People was going crazy online trying to figure out if it was real, if it was AI, if it was a fake. For days, that's all anybody talked about, which just made the whole thing spread even more. When the official version, all cleaned up, finally did hit the apps, the message was locked in. Drake had answered. He didn't just respond. He tried to shrink him. He tried to make him look small. Now all the pressure was right back on Kendrick's shoulders. The whole world was watching again, waiting to see what he'd do. Was he gonna come back even harder? Or was he gonna let that shot rock him back on his heels? So Kendrick, he didn't fold. Not even a little bit. He didn't just match the energy. He took it to a whole other level that nobody really saw coming. He didn't just drop a song. Nah, he laid out a whole master plan. First thing, late April 2024, he hits M with Euphoria. This was a 6-minute masterpiece of pure disrespect. It wasn't no rough leak. This was a polished, carefully put together essays set to a beat. Kendrick left all the playful jokes behind. He went straight for the man's soul. He came at Drake's whole identity, calling him a master manipulator and a predator. He clowned how he parents. He questioned how he talks. He brought up the whole ghostwriter thing again. The whole vibe of the track was just cold, like he was dissecting him under a microscope. He wasn't painting Drake as a rival no more. He was trying to paint him as a straight-up fraud, a fake to the whole culture. But Euphoria was just the start, the first piece of the puzzle. The man was on a 24-hour blitz. The very next day, out of nowhere, a second track pops up called 616 in L.A. This one was quieter, more sneaky, more ominous. It was suggesting that Drake had snakes in his own circle, that people close to him was talking. That was a warning shot right there, proving that Kendrick wasn't just rap-pen. He was plot-in. He was moving with real strategy and intel. The way the commentators reacted, it was pure shock and respect. On joints like the Joe Budden podcast, the mood was clear. Everybody was saying the same thing. This was different. This wasn't a regular rap beef, no more. This was something else entirely.
Up on these niggas. This shit here sound like Kendrick is basically saying, listen, it can go further than music, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. That's what.
That
last verse sound like a dog whistle of different proportions.
This sound like I'm saying something totally different out there. Like, nigga, we can turn this up. Fuck the rap shit.
Because every time he shouts somebody out, it's not by chance. Like that 2 T's shout out, this top shout out right at the top, and then getting right into the next line, and then I ain't even saying nothing else because I'm shook.
So look, Drake came through and threw a solid punch, no doubt. He tried to land that shot. But Kendrick, he didn't just swing back. He responded with a surgical strike. He wasn't just trying to bruise him. He was, to dissect him. See, the whole battlefield changed after that. It wasn't about who had the slicker punchline no more. It wasn't about who could spin the better metaphor. Nah, the game shifted to something way deeper, way heavier. This was about character now. This was about your whole legacy. This was about what's real and what's fake. They was fighting over the truth of who they really was. And the wildest part, the most shocking parts of the story hadn't even hit yet. The real personal stuff, the dirt, the revelations that make your jaw drop. That was all still coming around the corner. The temperature was about to go way up. The war was just getting warmed up, and it was getting personal. Aight. So on May 3rd, 2024, any rules they had left for this beef, they got blown straight out the water. Kendrick Lamar dropped Meet the Grahams. Listen, this wasn't hip-hop no more. This felt like a public intervention, like somebody calling the whole family to the table for an ugly talk. The whole song was set up like letters. One to Drake's son, Adonis, basically warning him about his own father. Then one to some unnamed daughter, a claim that just made the whole internet stop scrawling. And then one to Drake's parents, accusing them of hiding a secret child. These allegations, they were on some other level. Nuclear. Kendrick wasn't just playing the rival rapper no more. He was trying to be a whistleblower, saying Drake was hiding a whole daughter and had some deep, dark problems. The vibe was heavy, like a preacher delivering a final judgment, trying to burn down that whole family man image Drake built for years. The whole internet just froze. Nobody had seen nothing like this. How do you even come back from something that heavy? Drake's answer came a few days later with The Heart Part 6. And his tone was different this time. He wasn't spazzing out. He sounded defiant, almost bored, like he was dismissing the whole thing. He said the allegations were a trap, something he saw coming from a mile away. His smartest, most cold move? He took that whole daughter rumor and spun it around. He rapped about it saying, "We plotted for a week, and then we fed you the information. That's a strategic wipeout. Yeah, we wiped all the information." He was claiming the whole thing was a fake story he let out there, so Kendrick would look crazy for believing it and repeating it. Just like that, he tried to change the whole story. It wasn't about a secret kid no more. It was a lesson about not believing rumors, about checking your sources. He ended the track with a warning, like he was walking away saying, "You know, at this point, I gotta let go. You know you're a terrible person, right? You're gonna get karma for that." It was a slick way of backing up, without really backing down. He was claiming he had the higher ground now. After all that shock and ugliness, it seemed like things had just ended in this nasty, tense standoff. Nobody won. But Kendrick, he wasn't done. Not even close. He was sitting back, plotting on a way to flip the whole game on its head one last time. So just one day later, on May 4th, 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped what might be the most important song to come out of this whole war. Listen, it wasn't the cruelest. It wasn't the one digging the deepest into personal business. Nah, this one was the catchiest. This was Not Like Us. Mustard laced the beat, giving it that classic West Coast summer vibe. He took a melody and turned it straight into a weapon. Yeah, the accusations in the lyrics was still heavy. Cal and Drake a colonizer, bringing back all that predator talk. But he wrapped all that anger in a beat you couldn't deny, a beat you could dance to. And that right there, that was the genius move. Meet the Grahams was for the blogs and the think pieces. Not Like Us was for the function. It was for the block, for the club, for the barbecue spot, for the TikTok feeds. It turned into a meme, a challenge, a whole cultural moment. DJs couldn't wait to blast it. Whole crowds would scream the words back. It stopped being just a diss track. It became the anthem of the whole summer. The numbers told you everything you needed to know. It broke all the streaming records. It jumped straight to #1. Your timeline was flooded with videos of packed clubs, going absolutely crazy the second the DJ dropped that beat. Even radio legends like Big Boy was talking about it in interviews, pointing out how the whole energy had shifted. The song wasn't just winning a beef. It was talking over the culture.
Too bad. I believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Let's speak on percentage. Show me your splits. I'll make sure I double back with you. You assigned to it. That said he was signed to that. Stop cease and desist on I like that record. What, you ain't like that record? Back to back. I like that record. I'll get back to that for the record. What I come around trying to get dirt on. You think of my life is rap? That's some on the race, but I can see you know nothing about that. Waking them up, know nothing about that. They tell them to pray, know nothing about that. They giving them tools to walk through life like day by day, know nothing about that. Teaching them morals, integrity, discipline, listen, man, you don't know nothing about that. Speaking the truth and consider what God's considering, you don't know nothing about that. Ain't 20v1, this will be 20 if I got stuck that right with you. Yeah, bring them out too, I clear them out too. Tell people that hurt. Go so like Joel Austin. Funny, he was in a film called AI. And my 6 6 telling me to off.
God damn, man. Where did they go?
Oh my. So Drake tried to make one last counter with the Hard Part 6. But the wave had already crashed, you feel me? The tide had turned and it wasn't going back. The people, the streets, the whole court of public opinion, they'd already made up their minds. The verdict was in. Kendrick had won the battle on the concrete. He owned the playlists and the parties. He had done the impossible. He successfully painted Drake as an outsider, like somebody who was just visiting the culture, not really from it. That Not Like Us track, man, that stopped being just a song. It became a brand. It was a label. It was the final stamp on the whole situation. And that kind of stamp, once it's on there, it don't come off. It stuck to him. The war might have been over, but that name, that vibe, it was permanent. So after Not Like Us took over the whole summer, something deep happened. Kendrick Lamar just went ghost. He fell all the way back. No interviews. No posts explaining nothing. No new music drops. He had said everything he needed to say. He'd thrown what most people saw as the knockout punch. And then he just vanished into thin air. He let the work speak for itself. Drake, on the other hand, tried to keep it moving. He dropped a playful, kind of confrontational track called Wagwan Delilah. But the vibe wasn't the same no more. The air had left the room. The whole world was still caught up, still chanting the words to Not Like Us. It was like he was trying to change the subject, but nobody was really listening. Then later, sitting solo on his table for one radio show, Drake finally spoke on the beef again. But he didn't come with fury. He didn't sound like he was still in the fight. His tone was different. It was tired, almost bored, like he was just dismissing the whole thing, brushing it off his shoulder like a piece of lint. The war was over, and the silence from one side spoke louder than any words from the other. That's the moment it all turned cold. You feel me? That back and forth, the direct shots, track for track, all that noise. It stopped. It just ceased. And in that quiet, Kendrick's silence became his heaviest weapon. It was a power move that said he was above it now, that he'd moved past the petty back and forth and onto something higher. Drake's play was to act like everything was normal, to project that it was business as usual, focusing on his empire, his big tours, keeping his brand polished and moving forward. Two different strategies for a whole new kind of fight. So yeah, the hot war was done. The time of them explosive diss tracks that all burned out by the end of May in 2024. But don't get it twisted, the conflict wasn't finished. It just changed shape. It evolved into something new, something colder, way more strategic. This ain't a battle for who owns the summer no more. This is a battle for who owns the history books. The fight ain't being waged with microphones and beats anymore. It's being waged with legacies. And that's a war that don't never really have a clear end. So with the two generals in a tense standoff, the fight just found a new way to live. It went underground. The hot war turned into a whole series of proxy battles, fighting through other people. From Kendrick's side, the loudest voice was his little cousin, his protege, Baby Keem. At his live shows and all over social media, Keem's whole energy got way more aggressive. He wasn't just hyping up the crowd with his own songs. He'd get him screaming, chants that echoed the whole "Not Like Us" vibe. His lyrics started feeling sharper, more ready for confrontation, and fans would pick apart every line looking for slick shots at Drake's whole OVO crew. The message was clear. Even though Kendrick ain't saying a word, his camp is still on guard, protecting what they won. Over in Drake's corner, the response was bigger, more global, but quieter. His huge, smash hit collab with the UK drill king Central C opened up a whole new lane of influence. And in interviews, Central C would make these little offhand comments that everybody took as indirect shots. Like in one UK interview, when they asked him about rap beef in the States, he just said, "Some of it feels like homework. We're just trying to make hits that move the crowd." To everybody listening for the drama, that sounded like a Drake-approved way of dismissing Kendrick's whole dense, lyrical style. But the real unexpected fire came from an old, dusty argument, the ghostwriter debate. Early in 2025, some low-key songwriter from back in the 2010s gave an interview saying the use of uncredited writers was a whole pandemic that touched even artists known for writing their own stuff. He didn't name names, but Drake's people made sure that interview got heard. The hint was obvious. Let's bring that whole, who really writes their rhymes, question back to the front. The comeback didn't come from Kendrick himself. It came from his inner circle. J-Rock from Top Dog Entertainment fired back on social media with a tweet he deleted fast, but the internet never forgets. It said, "We write our own shit. Always have. The pen is the sword." That wasn't just a defense. That was a reminder of the core value Kendrick used against Drake from the jump: realness, authenticity. These proxy wars proved the whole thing was still breathing. It wasn't over. It was just being fought through other soldiers and old, bitter arguments that never really died. So with no new official diss tracks dropping, the realest fight moved online. It got taken over by the fans and the algorithms. This became the meme war. Two whole philosophies got born from the internet. For the Drake stans, you had the map meme. This thing showed his influence like a giant web, lines connecting Toronto to London, to Atlanta, to the whole planet. The argument was that his legacy was all about connection, blending cultures together into something global. For Team Kendrick, you had the blueprint meme. This one showed his influence like a deep, underground foundation, arrows pointing from his music to a whole new wave of lyricists, to them Pulitzer Prizes, to major film scores. Their argument was that his legacy was about depth, about making a permanent change to the art itself. But the thing that really messed everything up was artificial intelligence. A whole flood of AI-made diss tracks started talking over YouTube and TikTok. You had these crazy realistic voice clones of Kendrick and Drake rapping bars that fans wrote, accusing each other of everything from being bad fathers to having terrible style. Sometimes the quality was so good it was scary, causing real moments where people didn't know what was true. Both sides had to come out and officially say, "Nah, that ain't us." to songs they never even made. This AI anarchy created a wild, fake reality where the beef could just keep going forever, powered by anybody with a computer. It blurred the line between what fans made up and what people actually started to believe. The artists themselves lost their grip on the story. They stopped being just rappers and turned into characters in a saga that the whole crowd was writing without them. By 2025 and rolling into 2026, the whole situation settled into its final form. Call it the Great Détente. This wasn't about trading words no more. Nah, this was a war of monuments. Both of them turned all their energy to building their own undeniable, permanent legacies, using that old rivalry as a quiet engine in the background, pushing them forward. Kendrick Lamar fell all the way back into the world of high art. His company, PG Lang, started spreading into film and all kinds of media. He scored a major movie, getting big praise at them fancy festivals. When he did drop music, it wasn't for the radio. It was dense, orchestral, telling a whole story, positioning him like a modern composer. An artist worried about what lasts forever, not what's hot for a week. In one of his rare comments, he told some magazine, "The goal is to build something that stands when you're gone. A foundation, not just a moment." Drake, seeing that, went the opposite way. He doubled down on owning the right now. He launched his whole OVO sound network, building a media empire with music, talk shows, fashion, the whole thing. His albums became global takeover events. Less about looking inward, more about pure domination, collabs with artists from every corner of the map, designed to just own the streaming charts forever. In some business interview, one of his OVO execs laid out their plan. "We're building the world's biggest cultural ecosystem. Music is the engine, but the destination is everywhere." Listen to how they're talking now. They speak in two completely different languages. One's talking about foundations, the other's talking about ecosystems. One's chasing permanence, the other's chasing being everywhere at once. Them diss tracks from back in the day, they just relics now. They like artifacts in a museum. And both these dudes are now too busy building their own empires to even stop and visit that museum anymore. Aight, so who really won the war between Kendrick and Drake? The answer to that, it ain't simple. It all depends on what you value in this hip-hop game. If you think the winner is the one who landed the knockout punch to the culture, the one who made the anthem that owned the summer and made his opponent look like a straight-up outsider, a tourist, then yeah, the victory goes to Kendrick Lamar. Not Like Us was the final move in that hot war. That was the checkmate. But if you think the winner is the one who proved he couldn't be stopped by the charts and the business, the one who shook off all the allegations and just kept breaking, streaming records, building his empire bigger and wider across the whole globe, then Drake never lost. His bounce back and his money power is his own kind of victory. But maybe the realest answer is that they both won. 'Cause that fire they went through forced M to become exactly who they was meant to be. The beef was like a furnace that burned away everything else. It forged Kendrick into that uncompromising artist, like a poet laureate for the streets, the protector of hip-hop's raw, truthful heart. It hardened Drake into that cultural emperor, the master of its shiny, worldwide pop takeover. This Cold War they in now, this Great Détente, that's what came out of it. It's the quiet, never-ending argument between two completely different ideas of what being the greatest even means. One vision is a deep, solid blueprint you build a house on. The other vision is a huge, connect-everything map of the whole world. The diss tracks have stopped. The direct shots are done. But the big debate they kicked off, about what's real, about what you leave behind, about what this whole culture is supposed to be, that debate, that's forever. And we all still got our ears to the streets, listening for the answer. Yo, the story of Kendrick and Drake ain't just about no rap beef. Nah, it's bigger than that. It's like a mirror held up to the whole culture of hip-hop itself. It's a whole argument about what art is, about who has real influence, and what kind of legacy you leave. And that argument keeps going, even when the mics get turned off. If you was around for this era, you know, you had to pick a side. You was in them online arguments. You had them diss tracks on repeat. You wasn't just watching the story. You became a part of it. So let us know in the comments, for real. Who do you think really took the crown? The artist who dropped the anthem that took over the streets? Or the emperor who just kept building his empire bigger? Is it all about that deep, solid blueprint? Or is it about that wide, connect everything map? This right here is the deep stuff we live for. If you're into these untold stories from the biggest battles in music, make sure you're locked in. Hit subscribe and tap that notification bell. We go deep and break down the culture for you, so you don't have to do the homework. Appreciate you watching. Until the next crazy chapter pops off in the game, stay tuned and keep your ears to the streets. Peace.